Hey guys, decided to do something a little bit different today. Recently, I've started getting into the idea of teaching myself Arduino. So I thought that I would make a video showing the first sketch or whatever they're calling it, the first project that I made using an Arduino. It's a simple concept. It's easy to set up. Not a lot of code involved. It's basically the idea is using a temperature and humidity sensor and a couple of LEDs, a breadboard, and an Arduino, and of course the little wires to connect everything together, so that if the humidity in a room or an area, whatever, is less than 50%, the green light comes on or stays on. But as soon as it goes over 50%, the green light shuts off, the red light comes on, as though it's a warning or something like that. And then once the humidity comes back down below 50%, the red light shuts off and the green light comes back on. So it's a very simple process. It's something that, I looked through some other code and kind of took bits and pieces from different areas and threw together. I will have all of this code available on my website. I'd put it here on YouTube, but YouTube is weird about the way you put certain things in. And anyway, all of the code will be available on my website, whether if you just want to copy it or download a file, whatever the case may be. All of that will be available over there. I'll have a link to that in the description as well, so you can go check that out. But that's enough of my rambling. So let's just go ahead and jump into this and show you what I've done here. Okay, so here's everything we're going to need for this little experiment demonstration, whatever we want to call it here. So of course we're going to need a breadboard and a couple of resistors. These are 220s. These are just to keep the LEDs from burning out from too much power. I actually burnt this one out by pushing too much power to it, I think, but it's no good. So we've got some resistors in there. We've got our temperature and humidity sensor here with 3 male to female leads. We've got one that's going to go on pin 2, that's the white one, and then the 5-volt power and the ground. And then, of course, we're going to need a couple for power and ground, and then basically the same thing over here. So let's go ahead and just start wiring things up here. Like I said, this white lead is going to go to pin number 2. So plug into here. And then our red and black will go to power and ground respectively. So we'll just plug these in. Here, that's fine. And here, that one's fine as well. So that's that part. And then of course we're going to need we're going to need to run power and ground to our LEDs. So what I want to do here is actually plug in my ground here, and then we'll come over and plug in a ground there. Same thing on this side. And of course you can always use whatever color wires you want here. You don't have to use anything specific. I know some people may have a fit that I'm using white wires for ground instead of black wires or whatever. These are just the short ones that I've got that work really well for that. So that's what I'm going to use there. So next thing we're going to do is run power and ground from the Arduino to our breadboard. So we'll do 5-volt here. And sometimes it's hard to see or figure out which one of these lines up. You can always flip it over and it should be labeled here on the side. So that's our 5-volt. Go ahead and plug that in to to the positive rail there. And then our ground will go over here to our ground on the breadboard. And then our green wire, the way I've got it set up in the code, or sorry, a green LED rather, the way it's set up in the code is to go to pin 9, sorry. Pin 9 for our green wire, or for our green LED. So go ahead and plug that in right here, like so. And then, of course, we're going to have to run power to our red LED as well. So go ahead and plug that one in to pin 8. So now, if everything worked correctly, when I plug this in, the green LED should come on. Give that just a second. Yay. All right, so that's good. That's what we want to see here. Now, if I grab a hold, actually let me pull up. I'm just going to go ahead and push. Oh, let's make sure that we've got on the right port there. That's fine. Sometimes you got to push it twice. That's fine. No big deal there. All right, so we've got a temperature and a humidity that we can see in our serial monitor. That's the word I'm looking for there. And if I go ahead and I just grab the sensor here, those numbers should start going up, at least on the humidity side. And of course, as soon as it hits 60%, light turned red. Now that I've let go of it, our humidity level should start coming down, and as soon as it gets to be less than 50, red light should shut off, green light should come back on. And that's pretty much all there is to this. Okay guys, like I said, pretty simple, just a few wires, couple of LEDs, some resistors, all the basic stuff. So hopefully you found the video interesting, if nothing else, maybe informative. Of course, there's probably a million different ways to do what we did in this video. This is just, again, this is my first attempt at using Arduino and that sort of thing. It's my first little project that I've done here, and I'm hoping that maybe I can start doing more of these videos if you guys are interested in Arduino, and somebody maybe mentioned Raspberry Pi, that sort of thing. I want to focus on one and then maybe learn the other later. So I think right now I'm going to focus on the Arduino stuff. If you guys are interested in that, I'll keep posting these videos so you can kind of follow along and learn as I do. So if you've got other project ideas, of course, I'd love to hear those. Also, the kit that I used here, I'll link to below. It's a kit that I bought on Amazon, so you can go over and buy that kit if you want to do, if you want to follow along and build these projects as I'm building them. So yeah, again, all of the code will be available on my website just to make it a little easier. And so I think that's it. So if you guys found the video helpful, informative, you like the new idea of doing Arduino on here, do me a favor, give the video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of this, of course, you can always hit the subscribe button as well. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. As always, thanks for your time. I always appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you in the next video.